Hello everybody, we're back here again for our Ozzy Osbourne album review series. It's been took a little bit of time in between this one and the last video. I was a little sick, but a little under the weather, but we're back at it again, this time entering the 2000s for Ozzy. And we're talking about Down to Earth, 2001's Down to Earth. And you've got a pretty different lineup here. You've got Mike Borden from, he's played on a couple Ozzy albums, played with Black Label Society, which is of course Zakk Wylde's band. Most notably, he was in the band Faith No More. Then you have of course Zakk Wylde, still at it on lead guitar, and I can't remember who's exactly on bass, but I don't think it's super, like anybody super noteworthy if I remember correctly. But anyways, yeah, we'll go and hop right into it with Gets Me Through. And what a cool opening track. And this is it's a heavier track here. I would say, I'll go ahead and say too, this track it reminds me kind of like, I mean, it's a very modernly produced album. Like, it sounds very modern. It could hold up today. And it kind of, but songwriting wise, and they remind me kind of like some Osmosis track. Like, it kind of reminds me of Osmosis tracks, but this one has more heavy tracks than as Osmosis had a lot of ballads. But this has more, and this does have its ballads on here, a few, but this actually has more heavier tracks, which I dig. But yeah, Gets Me Through, really hooky verse, and super cool chorus, really cool lyrics. I'm not the kind of person you think I am. I'm not the Antichrist or the Iron Man. That's a pretty cool lyric from Ozzy. But yeah, really cool opener. Then you've got one of the hits off here, which is just a freaking kicking track, Facing Hell. That one is, man, definitely see why that's a hit. It's not one of his biggest hits ever. Like, you know, I guess it was really just a hit for its time, Facing Hell. But that's one of the best ones off here. That is even for people who I would say don't really listen to Ozzy's stuff post like Osmosis or whatever, I would say definitely give that track Facing Hell a listen. That is a super, really cool track. Then you've got the biggest hit off here that still is considered a really big hit. It's a really soft ballad. You've got Dreamer. And I do like this one. I mean, it's kind of talking about like he's dreaming of world peace and all this stuff. I do like this track, but it's not one of my favorite Ozzy ballads. You know, it's a little cliche at times and a little corny at times with some of the lyrics and stuff, but it's not a bad song. It's got its place on here. Then you've got No Easy Way Out. That one's kind of, it's one of my least favorites on here, but I mean, I like it. It's a good track. Really cool riff from Zakk Wylde that he delivers. And then we've got track number 5. Oh man, this one might be my favorite off here. Big deep cut off here. That I Never Had. That riff is just absolutely it's fast. This is a track I could hear on you could totally hear, like, Zakk Wylde is playing, reminds me a lot of No More Tears, especially during the solo. He like does this big slide, and it just reminds me, like, makes you kind of flash back to a No More Tears style solo. But Brad Wilk from who is really an exceptional drummer. You know, if you've ever listened to Faith No More and stuff, he just absolutely nails it. I love it. There's this constant drum beat during the chorus, but it kind of slows down, quietens down a little bit. But then at the final chorus, he picks it back up and just starts pounding the drums, and I freaking love that. And it's super hooky all throughout. Really a great song. One of my favorites off here. Then you got kind of a weird deal here. It's like a short, like 1 minute little interlude, I guess, called You Know Part 1, which there was never a part 2 on this album or any other albums. But I mean, it's kind of pretty sounding. That's kind of a ballad deal. But definitely really strange. It's like, I guess, did they plan a part 2 or it just didn't go through? I don't know. But kind of a weird thing on here, but not bad. Oh, then you have another really cool one. Track number 7. Kind of about Ozzy's drug use a little bit. Junkie. And man, it's got some pretty brutal lyrics in here, but it's cool. It's really heavy riff. Again, that's what you're finding a lot on this album, which it's really an underrated record. A lot of people assume, I guess, past Osmosis, he just got all soft and all that, but no, like this is a heavy record. It's got some really heavy stuff. It's really well produced, and the track Junkie is one of the heaviest ones off here. I really like that one. Then let's see here, track 8, you've got Running Out of Time. Really cool one. Especially the chorus isn't as memorable as I really like. I think the verses are even more hooky than and catchy than the chorus itself. But it's a cool song. A little bit slower, not as heavy as some of the other ones, but really cool. Then you've got Black Illusion. That is a heavy track off here. Really kind of a wicked sound to it. And the riff, like it's real chuggy, and it sounds, and I love the breakdown in this. This is where you get one of those really cool Ozzy breakdowns. I really do, that's one of the better tracks off here as well. I tend to kind of lean more towards the heavier tracks, especially off this album. Then you've got Alive, which is a really cool track. I really dig that one. There's some really cool lyrics. Oh, I want to go back to on Black Illusion really quick. I like the lyrics off there. With fingers crossed, I switched the perfume with the mace, something like that. That was a pretty cool lyric. And, it was like some of the lyrics in this just go phonetically so well. It's like, man, that was really cool. A lot of cool lyrics off this album in whole. But Alive's got some cool ones on there too, and a really, really hooky verse. Then you end it with Can You Hear Them? And what a beautiful track. It's heavy, but it's the breakdown in that is just freaking beautiful. It reminds me of a Randy Rhoads breakdown, guitar-wise. It's so pretty. I think Zakk Wylde really tapped in. It almost sounds like the main acoustic riff from You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, which is off Diary of a Madman. But super pretty, and the vocals on this particular track are really pretty during that breakdown. But it's also, like I said, it's got its heavier parts during the verse and the chorus, and it's really cool. One of the best tracks off here. So yeah, really underrated album. I think there's a lot of really good stuff off here. Gets me through Facing Hell, That I Never Had, Black Illusion, and Can You Hear Them, and Alive. And Junkie. Those are like a bunch of just really awesome heavy tracks and some of my favorites. I highly suggest to anybody who doesn't really delve past Ozzy stuff post Osmosis, which I think you're doing yourself a real disservice because there's some really great material out there. But anyways, guys, next time we're going to be looking at 2005's cover album, which I know some people don't count cover albums, but it's a studio record, and I don't really like cover albums for the most part. I'd rather just hear a new release. But we're going to go and count 2005's Undercover. And that counts as a studio album as far as I'm concerned. Some may count it, some may not, but I'm going to go and count it. But anyways, thanks for watching. I would love to hear people's thoughts on this. Thanks.